Welcome in to Hino's Ball here on November 4th, 10 a.m. live on VMFM, live on YouTube. And we got someone live from a very far, far away land. John Downey back in the island of Staten. JD, how are we doing?
What's up, boys? I relocated to them inside. It's a little too cold for me to sit outside this time, but nice little setup. The table's a little small, but I'm making it work.
You got to go back outside, man.
No, it's too cold out there.
Well, no, you'll be all right. You got thick skin.
Yeah. I'm good, man.
You're Staten Island tough. What do you mean?
That's true.
JD, what do we think of the Thad Castle?
I like it. I couldn't figure out who it was at first, and then I realized. I thought you were the water boy at first.
can't help out his offense.
Yes, I gave up Pacheco because he won't be back until like week 13 of this season, probably. So I don't have time. I don't have time to fool around.
Just no more no frosted tips.
No more.
Dude, you just gave me a heart attack. I thought you meant like Chase Brown was going to the Chiefs when you mentioned that. You were about to break me this morning.
Thank you, Bigsy.
Sorry to scare you, Cam. All right, we'll get into some more fantasy later.
Yeah, we'll save
But
it.
just want to break that news because obviously we're talking about Chase Brown. Let's get into team takes. JD, I know you're a little bit frustrated about your college football team, so why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this week we all sat back as Irish fans. We thought, oh, we'll have a good weekend. No games, no stress. Then I wake up yesterday and they go down 2 rankings. Not really sure why. Like, I don't know how you can get punished for that. But I mean, at this point, these rankings don't matter anymore because tomorrow night is the CFP ones. So that's important. So hopefully they're in the top 10 for that, so they can have a shot at making the playoff. Right now, the Rangers sitting at 8-2-1 in first place with 17 points. I mean, guys, the Metro Division is insane right now. I mean, I think there's like 5 or 6 teams within like a point or two of first place, so everyone has that shot. And it's annoying me as well. Like, not everyone has the same amount of games played right now, so it's kind of tough to figure out who's in what spot. But we'll see what happens with that. Really no complaints. I mean, everyone's contributing. I think everyone on the first 3 lines have at least 4 or 5 points right now, which is, I mean, it's awesome. Good, beautiful hockey. We love that from the Rangers. Right now, the Knicks 3-2 feels like they barely played. They play like every 4 days at this point. 3-2, the only losses against the Cavs and the Celtics. I mean, you see what those teams are doing right now. I'm sure we'll get into that later. Both powerhouses thus far. Starting 5 has been great with Cat, Bridges, OG, Brunson, and Hart. But the bench is very, very short right now. And Campaign's supposed to be out as well tonight, so they might be going like a 7-man rotation in Game 6 of the season. That's definitely not what you want, but hopefully maybe they can go out there and make a little trade for a bench scorer at some point. Not now, but they will. Guys, I actually have some positive about the Jets. Can you believe this? This is great news.
Finally, man. Finally.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been 5 weeks since I've been able to come on the show and be happy about them. Nice win on Thursday. I'm not going to get too excited because they're still 3-6, so they suck. But the AFC is wide open, guys. The AFC stinks. So I mean, the Jets. As much as the Jets have dug themselves a huge hole, they have a chance of getting out of it. Starts this week with Arizona. Hopefully, they can carry the momentum from the second half because they look pretty good. Tay and Garrett Wilson both had 7 catches for 90-plus yards. Garrett had the 2 touchdowns. Devontae had the 1. They look like that chemistry was working very, very well. Hopefully Rodgers doesn't stink it up in the first half this week because they can't afford to get off to a slow start. Arizona's very good this year, especially with the run game. They're scaring me a little bit, but I just think there's a lot of opportunity here for them. Not going to get overhyped because, as Jets fans, we win 1 game, I think we're in the Super Bowl, but not this time. But we'll see what happens.
John speaking positively about the Jets. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Would have never thought, honestly.
I love seeing John.
Only 1 week.
I love seeing John finally being able to smile at his football team. It's been so long since we've seen it.
5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks, guys. So that was what, like
That's a long
for us at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like ages ago.
That's back when he was still sick. John hasn't been happy since he's been sick.
I don't think John has been happy and had his voice yet on the show.
Maybe that's the correlation. The
First
Jets
week.
are finally playing well because John has his voice back. John has his voice back. Jets are playing good football. I think they work hand in hand.
Maybe it was the cayenne water. That cleared the floor.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I got it, so I'm gonna bring it back up to school. I'll take it every Sunday until.
Oh God, dude,
hopefully it works.
That's disgusting.
Hey, listen, you gotta support the team. You have to support the team.
Every which way.
With anything at this point. Yeah.
Yo, go to the bagel shop I always talk to you about. Bring back the giant bagel.
Absolutely
please.
not.
Dude, there's this place near his house that I've seen on TikTok. It's a giant bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. It's probably the size of it probably takes up this whole area.
Really?
You have to special order it. I've been asking, dude, we could feed like a family of 27 with that. It is actually, it's like 3 feet long. It's so crazy, and he won't get it from me. That's the birthday cake I want. Bring me that.
That big thing. Yeah. All right.
Yes. Okay. Corey,
All right. So the Phoenix Suns, they're rolling right now. They've won 4 in a row. They beat the Lakers, Clippers, and Blazers this week. The last time I talked about them. First 3 games of the season was really all Kevin Durant, but it seems like Devin Booker's finally gotten hot, finally found his spark. He led his team in scoring last 3 games, 33, 40, and 28. The 3-ball continues to be the main choice, which I like. I mean, they took 52 threes against the Blazers last game. Royce O'Neal has been great on defense. I mean, he's been playing hard, boxing out, what you want to see. They had that near fourth quarter collapse against Portland, which I would have lost my mind if that happened. But, I'm not worrying about them at all, really. And they play the Sixers. John, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Why? You guys are laughing over there for whatever reason.
Yeah, I heard Vinnie laughing, and so I kept going. And then I'm like, all right, wait a minute. They play the Sixers tonight at home, which I know Vinnie will probably have some things to say about the Sixers.
I don't care about Sixers.
Oh, okay.
OKC, baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, lock in.
My bad. You went. John threw me off, man.
What did I do? I'm just sitting here.
UNC beat the poverty Florida State Seminoles 35-11. Not going to go too much into them because I may or may not have a Goi on that team. That's my Goi of the week.
A Goi?
But I will say another efficient game from Jacoby Criswell. The defense held them to just 42 rushing yards, 2 turnovers, and outgained the Seminoles by plus 300 yards. Like, they just completely dominated. 2 straight wins, 5 and 4, and they play 2 Saturdays from now against Wake Forest. Steelers now. Steelers, 3 straight wins. They get a win on Monday Night Football against the Giants. I don't know. There's still some issues. They had trouble stopping the run. I mean, they gave up 157 rushing yards. Couldn't slow down Slayton in that first half. They took them a little bit to get some rhythm going. They got control of the game in the third with that Calvin Austin punt return, and Russ found some rhythm. I mean, Russ was efficient again. And I was impressed with Wilson's connection with Austin. I mean, he had 3 catches for 54 yards, but again, we depend on Pickens and Najee. They carried the load, but again, that red zone offense has been an issue. It just seems like when they get to the goal line, they just can't do anything with it. And they just depend on Boswell. So, they're on bye this week. They play the Commanders next week. Schedule is going to get tougher. They really need to figure out that red zone offense because you can't just depend on Boswell, for points. But John, you called it. You said that Jones was going to turn the ball over multiple times, and that was going to be the difference in the game. And
I mean, at this point, what do you expect, Corey? I mean, yesterday you went into halftime with a passing touchdown and 0 yards. I've never seen that in my life. So that explains everything you need to know about that guy. I mean, it can't get worse than that. You know what I mean? Like, he's just awful.
I mean,
disgusting to watch.
that Monday night game was the epitome of Steelers football as well as the epitome of Giants football. It was just which one was worse,
yeah,
and it
of
was
course.
the
I mean,
Giants.
they
pretty
needed
much.
that win because they haven't even played a division game yet, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so they
I don't think they did.
They have 9 games left, 6 are in division, so they're not gonna. I mean, they'll probably win at least 3, but like I wouldn't expect more than that at this point, just because of how tough that division is. I mean, Cleveland stinks, but they still beat the Ravens last week, so.
Yeah,
And their non-conference. Oh, their non-division games are tough.
Commanders this
Their
week,
schedule,
right?
Commanders. It's
Yeah.
at Commanders, home against the Ravens, at Browns, at Bengals, home against the Browns, at Philly, at Ravens,
Oof.
versus Kansas City on Christmas Day, and then versus the Bengals.
that might
They
be.
might not win another game.
Listen,
the
that
rest of the year.
that may be the best Christmas or the worst Christmas.
It's gonna be.
They'll
It's
win.
gonna be a bad
I think they'll
Christmas.
win at least 2 of those division games, because it's tough to sweep a team.
Well,
in the
they'll
division.
beat the Ravens once at least.
They'll beat the Ravens once. They always do.
And
I think
Cleveland
they'll
probably.
I was gonna say I think they'll take at least one from the Browns, and they'll take one from Cincinnati. I think they take one from everyone, but there is a possibility they don't win a game the rest of the year because that is a tough schedule.
Yeah,
It is rough.
I know.
It's rough.
That is really really bad.
On to hockey. The Penguins 5-7-1. They've been underwhelming, but 2-1 this week. They finally ended a dreadful 6-game losing streak, and they've won 2 in a row. The top line with Crosby, Malkin, Raquel has been very successful. It's been injecting some life into the offense. I mean, Crosby 4 goals in the last 2 games. Much needed offense. Still worried a little about the goaltending, and the defense needs a complete facelift. I mean, over the past 4 games, they've been allowing about 3.5 goals a game, and their average this season is 3.2. So they're actually defending worse the past couple weeks than they did on average. So that defense really needs to get better. I mean, they looked good against the Ducks and the Canadians, but again, I mean, the Ducks and the Canadians have been so bad this year. So it kind of makes them look good. And they play the Islanders tomorrow night on the road, so we'll see what they do, and hopefully they keep the offense rolling.
We need a win there.
Takes.
We can't
Yes,
stand
they
the
do.
Islanders.
I'll start off with some hockey as well. Flyers went 2-1 this week. Who would have thought? Samuel Ersson, very good. In the 2 wins, only allowed 1 goal across the 2 games. So you'd love to see it, especially saying how bad Flyers defense and goalkeeping has been. So I'll take what I can get. John mentioned earlier, he's like, yeah, the Metro, everyone's within 1 or 2 points of each other. And then Corey and I look at each other as the Flyers are dead last and the Penguins are third from the bottom.
Yeah, and then the Penguins play the Islanders, who are also sandwiched in between.
Bottom 3. Yeah. But we'll keep going. I'll go over. You know what starts tonight, Corey? College basketball.
That's right.
So excited. Oklahoma facing off against Lindenwood tonight. If we lose to Lindenwood, I'll give up on the season very quickly. But yeah, Oklahoma is facing against Lindenwood this week. What?
So what do we want to do? We want to start from the. Do we want to start from the top or like?
We can probably just.
You're on radio. No, I took you guys off after Teamtakes, so if you just want to start college basketball again. This camera's not camera. Yeah, that camera's not turning on now. It took a long time.
Yeah, it's because you were finishing up your team takes because me and John went, so.
I'm rewatching it now. The beginning of like the trivia, can't hear anything. And then for team takes, you can hear it, but it's like slow, like the picture and everything. But it has like that that what you call it? I don't know how to explain it. Remember like a few weeks ago when it had like that weird like noise behind it
Yeah.
Oh, like
when we would
like
speak?
the popping noise.
That's what it has. That like it's like a weird like that. It sounds like you have like raspy voices. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Hmm.
That's for you guys though. On
Yeah.
your end, that's what it sounds like.
What the hell? That's
So I'm assuming that has to do with the whatever's going on.
probably.
I mean, the Wi-Fi in here too.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is like not great in here right now.
Yeah, because
Stinks.
it literally says unsecured network. Like it must have been that power outage. 'Cause it's never like this bad. in
Yeah,
here.
this
It's
is-
usually pretty good. Or I'll get full bar Wi-Fi, but like on my phone, I won't get like service.
Yeah, that happens. Mm-hmm.
I never got like a notification that there was an outage yesterday, because usually I'll get that like the one last week.
Why is there so many outages?
Wondering the
on?
same thing.
Oh, what the hell's going on?
Could be
here?
that wind or something, because we've had real windy days, or maybe something with the power lines. I don't know. That's happened before, like with the wind gusts. Huh.
Hmm.
We're going back on? All right. So we're just going to go to college basketball then.
Or do we just want to redo team takes? What do we want to do? It's up to you. Ben, what do you want to do? Just continue. All right. And we're back. Some technical difficulties. Never love to see it, Corey.
He knows ball first.
Yeah. Terrible. But I'll finish up my team takes and we'll keep moving forward. Up and Adam, as always. Go Sooners. That's where I was at. Sticking with the Sooners football team, finally victorious. Had been forever since I could talk nice, but they played Maine. I care less. They need one more win to clinch a bowl game. They face Missouri on the road, home against Bama, at LSU. We're probably not getting a bowl game this year. But I guess I'll take some positive. Javonte Barnes, 203 yards and 3 touchdowns. The team just had a great day on the ground. 381 total yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. And in the great city of Philadelphia, an ugly win, but a win all the same. Sirianni almost cost Philly that game. He had I gotta start calling him Nick because oh my god, leave me alone because my phone and my Mac keep going off every time I say his name. So when I say him, you know who I'm talking about. He failed a couple of 2-point conversions. Didn't really make sense why he went for them. I understand the one after Elliott kicked the extra point, and they were both penalties. You go from the one. Doesn't make sense. And then you go turnovers. You go for a turnover on downs. You have 4th and 1, and the tush push has failed twice. So you're afraid to go for it for the third time, and just drop a really ugly play. So almost cost us that game. I really thought it'd be the Eagles putting Doug Peterson out of a job, but Peterson survived to live another day. So congrats to Dougie P. I didn't want to see him get fired because Philly legend. But Saquon, an absolute freak, reverse hurdle, just an absolute menace to society. Big shout out to Zach Bond, dude. Zach Bond is quickly becoming my favorite Eagle defensively. 10 tackles, had a tackle for loss, an interception, and two pass deflected. And Devontae Smith, if it was any other week, any other season, he would have had the catch of the year yesterday. Had a great touchdown snag. But that's a good segue to our next point. We talked about Thursday night, Garrett Wilson having a heck of a catch. So I think we have to argue, what is the best catch that MetLife has ever seen? Is it, as I have in here, Fart Wilson?
I was going to say, read the doc.
Is it Fart Wilson or is it OBJ?
I'll let you guys go first because you know what my answer is.
Yeah. I still think it's OBJ because anytime someone makes a catch like that, like everyone just relates it back to the OBJ catch. I mean, I think he just cemented himself as the catch. There's no arguing that. I mean, John will argue it, but I think there's no arguing that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I know when I was in middle school, we were playing football out on the playground, out in the yard. I was trying to make OBJ catches. I'm curious if the middle schoolers are going to be trying to do Fart Wilson catches now. But you made a good point. Everyone always compares it back to OBJ, and if that is the case, I know you did the same thing when you were in grade school too, trying to make OBJ.
Oh yeah.
Same way when you shoot a paper ball into the trash can, you yell Kobe. When you have that, I think it gives you that it factor. So I'm gonna go in favor of OBJ. JD, I think you're gonna pick Fart, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't know why you wrote that, Corey. That's actually, by the way, why I was laughing before, and I didn't want to say it. So it wasn't you. It wasn't any.
I know.
It wasn't what you were doing.
No, yeah. I know. Yeah.
I just don't want to. I didn't want to say, yeah, that's what he wrote on the doc. Listen. I think for me, in my sense, I was at the game, so I saw it firsthand, and I just feel that the way he caught the ball, yes, it's kind of Odell the way he did the same thing. I feel the ending of it, how he got his shin down, was a lot more difficult than what OBJ did because, OBJ obviously the way he caught that and fell backwards to catch it and was held is a different situation. But I feel like Garrett Wilson had to jump, basically had his arm behind his head, somehow had to get his shin down in time before his knee hit out of bounds. So I feel like he had more obstacles to get that catch. That's why I have him slightly better.
I mean,
yeah, of course, when someone like Odell makes that catch beforehand, it's obviously going to be this is, you got to compare. You know what I mean? I get that, but.
I mean, he did do the Jumpman logo. Wilson did. When he
I mean,
that.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Section 225B was going crazy.
Yeah, we were going crazy. And listen, I know that when the Giants, that was a long time ago, they didn't win that game. So I mean, I feel you got to take that into account. Who won the game? And also the Giants. I think they weren't really good. I mean, the Jets aren't good either right now. But the Giants were out of it at that point when he made that catch. So. You know who we need on the show? Al Michaels, because he called both of those. So we need him on there to see what he thinks is better.
John, just dial him up.
He did both of them.
Just dial him up real quick. Just call him.
Yeah, let me send them an email. Maybe he'll get back to me.
While we're waiting for Al Michaels to respond, we're going to continue on with the rest of the news from around the NFL. Very, very scary injury in the Saints game yesterday. Chris Olave getting popped, had to be stretchered off. Seems to be okay, but how about the Michael Thomas and Derek Carr beef?
I was just gonna bring that up. That's
it was
something
so
else.
weird. John, what do you think about that?
I mean, something had to happen there when they were teammates. They brought it up to Derek Carr yesterday. He kind of just ignored it, or he was like, I don't know what I did to him, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like if you're gonna go after a teammate like that, just be a man. Call him on the phone and be like, you got a guy hurt. I mean, I wouldn't think Derek Carr did that on purpose either, right? He put it out there as if Derek Carr was doing that on purpose.
Michael Thomas is a dude. What has he done? He hasn't been healthy in 4 years. Like,
Yeah, with the
I
toe
don't.
injury for the last
That's
4
what I'm
years.
saying. Look, those toe injuries, they do hurt. Turf toe definitely does not feel good. But, like, you haven't been relevant in 4 years. It's not like Carr's intentionally doing it. Like, I don't understand the thought process. Like, what are you doing? It's just...
Yeah, and like if you have beef with someone, I agree. If you have beef with someone, you don't put it out on social media. Like you know him. Like you have. I'm sure they have each other's phone numbers, right? I'm sure they
that's
do.
what Carr addressed that in the post game. He had talked to he was talking to the reporters. He was saying like he has my number. I've tried calling him numerous times. He's just one of those guys who like didn't seem like we always seem to have an issue with me. Like I never understood it. But yeah, I don't understand the thought process. It's just it's words that I really can't use on here. But like it's so soft, dude. Like what are we doing? Another injury that happened yesterday. Dak Prescott was pulled from the game. I think it was right around about midway through the third quarter with a hamstring injury. I know he was also holding his hand. If he misses time, Dallas has to be done for the year, right? Like there's no shot that they can.
Oh, they've been done, Vinny. They've been done.
Like it's Dallas, so like you really can't rule them out.
Yeah.
Because they're always good enough, but like they haven't looked good at all, and especially if they're rolling with Cooper Rush or Trey Lance, like they're gonna be in trouble, and they're gonna be in trouble quick.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I just, like we said, it's the same things with Dallas every year. And I didn't think they'd be this underwhelming in the regular season, but man, they've been very underwhelming. Very.
Listen, that defense they had the last few years is not the same, so that's a big problem for them. When they're letting up like 28 points a game, like you can't win that.
Yeah, they were all
they're not.
Yeah, they were talking.
Yeah, they're not getting it done.
They were talking on the broadcast yesterday, and they were saying like, "Oh, Micah Parsons might be back next week. Might be back." Cool, you got Micah Parsons back, and their offense, your defense is gonna get better, and your offense is just gonna stifle. Like, it's just
It's CeeDee Lamb too at the shoulder. We don't know how healthy he'll be because he took that light pop like at the end of the game. It wasn't even really a big hit, and he was already like wincing.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
Yeah, Dallas is definitely in trouble. I will work our way around the NFL though. Divisional game in the AFC East: the Dolphins versus the Bills. I forgot his name. Tyler Bass.
Yeah,
Tyler Bass had like a bad game. Had kicked a couple PAT and a field goal off the uprights. Comes down to a 61-yarder right down Broad Street, like no issue. And then I'm watching the last play of the game. I don't understand the play call. It's a check down to Achane behind the line of scrimmage. Achane's trying to run around, and again, it's lateral football. He flips it to Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle runs 23 yards backwards just to get tackled. Like there was no intent. He started running backwards and then got tackled by an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman who he definitely could have outran. Like I don't. It was so ugly.
Fun fact: my roommate lost fantasy this week because of that exact play.
Because Waddle got
Really?
negative.
He lost the negative.
Yeah, I lost 2 points from that.
Yep, my roommate lost fantasy this week because of that lateral.
Cincinnati finally like really looking good up. I mean, it's the Raiders. But put up 41 points. Your twin, Joe Burrow, 5 touchdowns, lighting up, spreading the wealth around, giving Mike Gesicki 2 chances to hit the white man's gritty. It's so ugly. He's got to stop. It was funny the first couple times. He's got to stop. It is the ugliest touchdown celebration I've ever seen. How about Desmond Ridder getting in the game? Yeah, go Desmond Ridder.
Listen, I think he can. I mean, at this point, they might as well let him play, right? See what they got in him. I mean, they're gonna keep any of those quarterbacks they got anyway.
No, they're gonna draft a QB. They're gonna get.
He stinks too. But
Ritter's so big.
you never know.
Yeah. He also who does he have to throw to besides Brock Bowers? Like Jacoby Myers doesn't really do anything for me. Harrison Bryant, like come on. Like this is such a bad team. they got the offensive coaching staff. Not that they were the solution, but they definitely weren't the only problem.
No.
The Miracle Browns with Jameis Winston lost the first game, sadly. I was so excited for that.
Jameis was bad.
Jameis was really bad.
Was real.
He looked like. I mean, that's the tale of Jameson or Jameis Winston. You look at him last week, and he plays a phenomenal game against the Ravens, helps the Browns win. And then he
play the Chargers. Yeah. Well, how do you go from a Moi Goi of the week to just a cellar dweller? Like, jeez, man. Like,
Corey, usually we've had really good luck with like Moi Gois. They've had like good success for like weeks. He ruined it. He just ruined it.
He did, Johnny.
Unbelievable.
Not a good Goi apparently.
No.
AFC
Nope.
East. Oh my God, dude, Drake May. Did you see
That
the
final play?
The
Yeah.
last play of the game, he's bouncing around the pocket, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, gets taken down. And I have Ramondre in fantasy too, dude. He flips it up. I'm like, wait, is that Ramondre? I see him catch it, and I start screaming. I've never celebrated a Patriots touchdown more than I did right there. It was accurate. And then all of that for like the ugliest interception in overtime.
Well, yeah, just for the
Like-
Titans to like run it down their throat.
Yeah, the
like,
Titans run it downfield,
No.
waste about like 7.5 minutes. Drake May, like third pass of the drive, just straight into a defender's arms. Game night.
well, I just said it to myself. I was watching the game. I'm like, Drake May's gonna throw an interception. And
I mean, I'm happy to see the Patriots after so long of being good be like awful. But I like Drake May. I think Drake May is gonna be a good quarterback. It was such an ugly interception.
At least Ben has some hope. Ben's got hope over there.
Yeah,
But
Ben-
Drake May's he's gonna be a star.
John saying you got
I
hope over there.
can't
with
see
Drake
Ben,
May?
but I'm sure he's smiling right now.
No, Ben looks miserable as always. Now he's smiling. There we go. There's the smiling teeth from Ben. How about Daniel Jones? They said this on the Giants lost, but they said it on the broadcast this day that it had been 600 something days since Daniel Jones had accounted for a touchdown at MetLife.
like, bro,
Like either thrown it or run it or done anything. He had not done anything in over 600 days. But had 3 tutties yesterday. Ran one in and then found Theo Johnson and Chris Manhertz. What great trivia questions. Trivia answers. Terry McLaurin having 2 catches, both touchdowns. Love to see it. Jane Daniels really just cementing himself as the offensive rookie of the year. I don't think there's any doubt in our minds at this point. Honestly, I think he could play no more games the rest of the season and probably still win. I think he's just
Yeah.
been
He would still win.
he's been that good. How about the Panthers? First win in Lord knows how long. Bryce Young finally smiling. I mean, that's why Dennis Allen got fired. Dennis Allen losing to the Panthers. But
To Bryce Young, yeah. That was the toilet bowl game of the week.
But how about Corey? How about our boy coming up with a touchdown catch, Xavier Legette?
oh
Not-
yeah,
He's not allergic to.
I'm
the
not
end zone.
allergic. I ain't that asparagus. Wait, play it again.
I'm a lose.
He's not allergic to scoring touchdowns. He's literally Forrest Gump. He's Forrest Gump as a football player. I'm being so serious.
Guys, Michael Thomas just tweeted again
Oh,
about Dennis Allen's firing. He just wrote, "There it goes."
Dude,
Guys, him and AB like collab on Twitter.
no,
or something.
he
Maybe
is
he's got
not
a
even
heat
close to.
going
He is
on.
not even close to CTESPN. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Cardinals picking up a win. Caleb looked like a football player-ish. Not really. Just an ugly game. Did build a connection with Romo Dunze though, which is nice to see with getting that like rookie connection, especially saying Keenan Allen's a free agent after this year. Moore's under contract, I think 2 more years. He's under contract for a little bit. But yeah, so it's really nice to see that he's building that connection with the Dunze, who was he had a ton of potential. It was just kind of seeing how it would translate to the NFL. The Ravens. The Soren Alley fantasy football team.
the Baltimore Alley. That's what his
the-
name is
The
now.
Baltimore Sorens putting up 41 points. Yeah, dude. Like, I know he's gonna come on during the alley to talk about it, but it's like, how about our boy? We love to see fullback love. Patrick Ricard touchdown. Love to see it. We love when fullbacks get involved. Eagles got a fullback involved yesterday.
When the Ravens win, Soren wins. That's it.
I mean, literally.
Literally, if the Soren's offense is good, Soren's Alley wins in fantasy. Lions beating up on the Packers yesterday. Rams winning in OT. As Cam fires the Chiefs head away. And then just kind of last night's game was just boring. I know Sam Darnold threw for a ton of yards. But it didn't do anything for me. It was kind of there.
Joe Flacco, jeez, man.
TJ Hawkinson came back, which was cool, but like he threw it to Josh Oliver, which is like why? But Yeah, Vikings. The Vikings get back in the. They're lost 2 straight, so nice
Yeah.
to see them get back.
You know, this game was so bad that Anthony Richardson was still tired from last week. Like, he was still yawning on the sideline.
Maybe you should start him again.
Yeah, all right. That's what Soren said. You should start him again. I'm like, all right. Well, that's just like that's
just
not.
silly behavior.
No, never,
That's just
never.
You mean you don't want to run it back?
I'm never gonna run it back.
Okay. And over to college, Penn State finally lost. It's kind of I really thought they would win, but their offense just it's been their weakness. They stink. Drew Aller stinks.
Yep.
He stinks. Nick's the run game couldn't get going. Like the fact you have a tight end running for your most yards is kind of embarrassing. But Tyler Warren's dog, so no Tyler Warren hate. Like they played great defense too. Like Will Howard did not look good. Judkins had a good game, but that's kind of expected. He's one of the best backs in college. Penn State's defense played phenomenally. Their only touchdown was from a pick six. Like they went up early. They went up 10-0. I'm like, all right, Penn State's they're coming out hot. And it was just so ugly.
Do you see the video of James Franklin in the fan?
He's such a loser, dude.
What's your name?
Yeah. Are you trying to take him to dinner that night? Like, what are you doing? I mean, look, Penn State, if they don't lose the rest of the way, they're going to make the CFP. They're going to.
Mm-hmm.
But just it doesn't do it. It just proves how weak they are. They had played good football the rest of the season, and we always knew Drew Alley wasn't all that. But this put it in 4K HD live on TV, whatever you want to put. Like, it was a massacre, dude. It wasn't even their offense looks so bad. Couple upsets in the teens. Texas A&M getting battered down at South Carolina.
You were talking highly of South Carolina. You've been the last couple weeks.
And I was talking highly of A&M too, dude. I really thought after that Notre Dame loss, they had been one of the best teams in college. But obviously they benched Connor Wyman, right? They benched him last week. Marcel Reed, he looked out of his element. And this South Carolina team just absolutely bodied. And then Iowa State losing at home, lost to Texas Tech. Texas Tech's offense is really good. But yeah, Iowa State suffering the first loss of the year. Still probably going to be in the Big 12 championship, most likely, but definitely hurts. Pitt losing their first game. Finally, I talk highly of Pitt. I've been off the Pitt train the entire season. Finally hop on and then lose by 23 to SMU. And SMU's no pushover team. Like SMU is really, really good, but it's just it's sad. Give the AP top. You said what? Tomorrow is when they're doing the CFP rankings.
Yeah, every Tuesday night. I think until the rest of the season, they put out those new rankings. So it'll definitely be different than what they have right now. That's usually what happens.
Yeah, but we'll still take a gander at the AP top 25. Top 2 teams staying where they're at. Ohio State back up to 3rd with the victory. Miami back in the top 5 as well as Texas. Indiana hopping into the top 10 as Notre Dame stumbles. This still doesn't make sense, but. Boise State up to 12th. Gotta see them make it. Honestly, love to see SMU make it too. SMU's been a team. I think their only losses to BYU by 3 points. So SMU has played really good football. I think if they end up being in the ACC championship, I feel like that gives them a good chance to be in the CFP. Kind of have to see how the rest of the season shakes out. Don't really have any difficult games. Play Boston College, Virginia, and Cal. That's how they finish out their season. So should definitely have a good chance to make it. Iowa State and Texas A&M stumbling. Kansas State and Pittsburgh as well. Kansas State lost. That was really weird. Kansas State's a good squad. Still going to be in contention. But you know who's moving up in the rankings? The Colorado Buffaloes. Now 21st. So very interested to see if they can make the Big 12 championship and possibly coach Prime and Shador in the CFP, John. What do you think about that?
I would love that. I'm a huge fan of those two. I mean, I always love like because it doesn't happen often, but like the dad gets to coach his son, and especially in college, because I've been through that where my dad's basically coached me for throughout my whole life, so I like that. I'm dynamic. I hope it continues into the NFL too, because that would be some story. Like, imagine you get to play for your dad as you're the quarterback. That's very cool. Guys, I do have a bone to pick though. Bama. So Bama didn't play this week, right?
Yeah.
They didn't, right? Okay, so why are they going up 3 spots? Like,
Yeah,
I don't get
what the heck?
like they're not good. Like this has got to stop. Like I don't understand this. It's aggravating. Very aggravating.
They're gonna lose.
I hope they lose this week.
They're losing this week.
I hope so. I mean, I don't like either team, but I hope LSU pounds.
Well,
I
hold on.
get it.
So you look at the they'd be 14. So you think Ole Miss? Not Ole Miss. A&M dropped 5 spots. They were at 10. So by default, they naturally get moved up. They didn't do it. They only moved up because the other teams dropped. Because Clemson, Iowa State, and A&M all dropped who were above them.
No, I understand that, but like I don't know. I feel Boise State's only lost to Oregon by 3 points. Like they're better than Bama.
No, Boise State should be above them, but also it's Bama.
Yeah.
But it can change in the CFP rankings too. They could be different.
I
hope so.
I am very
hope so,
curious.
Corey.
I am very curious.
Yeah, I hope they come in clutch.
Well, because if you look just purely AP rankings alone, they're 4th in the SEC. It's Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and then I don't think Tennessee's all that, but Tennessee's above them right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. It just bothers me.
Honestly, like the way that Bama's schedule looks, not that I want Oklahoma to win, not that Oklahoma is going to win, but they realistically could lose 2 more games. I think they could. I think they lose to LSU this weekend, and I think that Oklahoma game's tricky. They play Mercer. Who cares? They're probably going to go up 9 spots in the AP ranking after beating Mercer by. They'll beat them by 12.
Yeah, they're number 1. They won by 80.
No, they'll win by 12, and they'll be like, yeah, you gutsy win. Like, no, and then they finish at Auburn or hosting Auburn.
Yeah, the Iron Bowl.
It's just like Bama's not all that. But before we get off of college football, I do want to talk about. We're getting close to the end of the season, which is sad. I hate to see that college football is quickly closing. We're in the second half of the season. I think we talked about it earlier a few episodes ago, but we got to talk about Heisman now. Who do we think it is?
You know who it is in my pick. Come on.
Is it Mr. Cameron?
You guys know.
Mr. Cameron Ward?
Yeah, come on. This guy is he's amazing. I mean, 5 touchdowns I think the other day against Duke. Like he was just. I mean, those passes you're throwing, those are NFL caliber passes right now. Like I think if he was in the NFL this year, he would have good success.
Potential future jet.
Maybe.
They're gonna win enough games not to get a top pick.
But like you got to think like what Genty's been doing as well. Like he
That's what I was gonna say.
He has to be in that conversation as well. He's been the best back in college football by far. There's no argument. He is the reason that Boise State has only had 1 loss and is like he is so good. Like he had a quote down week this week because he only had 150 rush yards. Like for him that lowers his average. Like that isn't helping him. But like that's what I'm saying. He's so good. Like he has to be in that conversation. I agree totally, but I know we've been watching college football for for a long time. The awards it's a quarterback award.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Called, like, best quarterback in the country for the season. Yeah. I mean, he's doing something special that is insane. But
I won't talk about.
what they're gonna do.
I won't talk about another one of these quarterbacks because he may or may not be Moi Goi. But there's another quarterback who I think after this week really catapulted himself into the Heisman conversation. But before we get over to Moi Goi, let's go down into the stinky, smelly, abominable, any negative word type of alley. Soren's Alley, ladies and gentlemen.
Soren.
He ducks under the HDMI cord. I really thought he was gonna trip over. He army crawls under it. Soren, how we doing today, buddy?
We're doing good.
Rocking the VT.
Yes. I will get to mention that in a second. I did actually get to cook over the weekend.
Oh, what did you stew up?
I was making some pork chops over the weekend with broccoli, and then I made like a beef stir fry too. Really
Wow.
I have some for lunch.
Should we get a He Knows Ball cooking competition?
Yeah, I would be definitely down for that.
I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, it would be.
We'll let Team Glasses be the judge. So Cam, Bernie, Jack, and Corey, and then we'll do teams of 2. Actually, no, Soren can be the judge because Soren is probably
He's Master Chef.
I feel like Soren unanimously is probably the best cook out of all of us.
I mean, I get my cooking experience from my father, so.
Cam,
And,
Shout out,
Cam, you disagree
Mr.
with that?
Sponsor.
You
100%.
disagree?
100%. I believe him better.
Whoa.
All right, I guess we just.
So maybe
Guys,
we just
I
need
was
to
about
do
say, I
Cameron
think
versus
Cameron
Soren,
versus Soren, Master Chef. You guys,
and
have
then
to
we
cook.
all judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Corey, remember at the Illest podcast we did a cook-off?
Oh, we
We
did.
don't talk about Ills.
We did.
Ill stinks. Love you,
I plead the
love you,
fifth.
Jason
I
Arden. but
plead the fifth.
okay, yeah. But what do we got in the alley today, Soren?
So, as you can see, what I'm wearing right now, I got Virginia Tech gear on. Unfortunately, they lost this weekend in a thrilling overtime game at the formerly known Carrier Dome, as we like to call it. But they called it instead of. They say it's the JMA wireless dome.
Soren, it's still the Carrier Dome. At heart for all college fans.
Yeah, because
I don't want to interrupt, but I can't stand when they change names like that
Yeah.
that are so historic.
No, yeah, it
Just
is.
like Heinz
Yeah.
Field. Just like
They don't know-
Heinz Field.
They don't know. Yep, they don't know ball. Those people. They just want money. They don't know ball.
No, exactly, and I agree with that because everything should be tradition. So, anyways, speaking of which, they lost 31-38. Tech was in the lead, 14-3, going into halftime. But both teams fought hard in the fourth quarter. But in the end, Syracuse secured the win with a 9-yard touchdown. Hopefully, I pronounced this correctly. LeQuint Allen?
Yep.
Okay. Good. That's what I wanted to make sure of. For Syracuse to improve their record to 6-2, while Virginia Tech only has a 5-4 record. However, their next game is a pretty important one. They are going to be facing Clemson, who is still ranked at the moment, and they're at home too. So, might be one of those games where you kind of want to tune in and watch, but also Virginia Tech also needs one more win to become bowl eligible.
Oh. Bowl.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
In the bowl. And the Soren's Alley Bowl? Soren, you have to be a corporate sponsor so you can get your own bowl game. The Soren's Alley Fiesta Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, it's Army versus Navy, sponsored by Soren's Alley. At the link.
I've always wanted to go to that Army-Navy game. Never had the chance.
Well, Army could make the CFP if everybody get out there and vote for Army. Get into the CFP.
It's not
They might play each other. They might play each other twice.
What's
Yeah,
that?
I said they might wind up playing each other twice in like 2 weeks. 'Cause,
No.
now they're both in the same conference, so they can face each other in the conference title game, and then the actual Army Navy game. So that'd be pretty cool.
yeah.
Oh, the Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Corey's like, go out and vote. It's not Dancing with the Stars, dude. You can't.
Oh my god.
What else you got?
All right, yeah. What else?
Eagles. Good lord. I mean, congratulations on the Eagles for getting a win. We get it. Everyone won. But for the th time, I am so sick and tired of the play call making decisions from Nick Sirianni. Like, when are we ever going to figure that out? Like, I was watching on NFL Red Zone this entire game, and it's unbelievable. And not even to mention that the defense was playing so soft. Like, they were just allowing Jacksonville to come back in the second half. And it basically all sparked it, all because of a Saquon fumble that happened in the game. And that's what motivated. Like, once a team gets motivated, there's no stopping them. But like I said, I know the Jaguars are pretty bad this year. Granted to the fact, they made the game very interesting. And I just thought that, was interesting to see. But also, A.J. Brown? I don't know, man. He got hurt again. I don't know what his.
Let's not talk about it, Soren.
I don't know what's going on with that. But, I mean, for the love of God.
Soren, I can cheer you up a little bit, Soren. I know AJ Brown got hurt, but how about that Saquon hurdle that was backwards?
No, yes, I actually watched that. That was actually pretty sick.
Do you think you could replicate it?
Only Soren.
Soren definitely can. Soren could do a backflip over someone
boy.
in a game.
It's gonna take a lot of strength to just be able to do those box jumps.
Box jump.
Because, like I said, it's all about upper leg strength and getting yourself up in the air to be able to hurdle a guy, which is crazy insane to think of, you know. But my final point is just being, for the love of God, Nick Sirianni, just please take the field goal points. Stop going for 2 because it is so annoying. I am sick and tired of seeing it. When those 2-point conversions failed, that means you failed as a coach. So they need to get their act together, whether it's the offensive coordinator talking to the head coach on being like, which play would make sense on such and such down to be able to score more points. Like, I just don't understand. I really don't. Some of the decisions have been crazy. But I've been saying this for weeks. And like it says, not taking those points is really going to cost you the game.
He's going to lose you guys in the first round of the playoffs. He's going to make some decision in the wild card game, and you guys are going to lose.
Yeah, but play call decisions need to be evaluated in those type of situations. But like I said, it's important to have. Anyways, transitioning from that, I will mention my other fantasy football team. I know there's a lot of speculation going on with the Marywood.
What do you mean? What do you mean speculation?
No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about the Marywood League because
you scored 175 points.
It is what it is.
He scores 175 points and doesn't want to talk about it.
Soren, your team's stacked. I know you make like stupid trades, but it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I know, but I want to
You're
talk
just
about.
winning anyway.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
I wish.
To
be so rich, man.
I'm looking at my notes here, and I see that. I will mention this though. Derrick Henry does become the 10th player in NFL history with his 100th career rushing touchdown. So kudos to that. Round of applause. He deserves it. Because, like I said, king is king, as always. But the Kobe League struggling. Tight end, Dalton Schultz did not produce well. He only had 3 receptions for 21 yards. Not acceptable. And like I said, everybody's on bye this week. The 49ers.
Soren, what's the score in that league?
The score currently, I'm looking at it right now. I believe the only player I have is the Tampa Bay running back.
White or Irving?
White.
He's not doing anything.
Nah, Kinsey's too good.
It's 133 to 104.
And you're down?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, this year basically guaranteed a playoff spot in our league.
Yeah.
6 wins.
In the other league,
Baltimore keeps winning.
In the other three, in the other league, I'm 3-5. So.
Oh.
No, but I do that because sometimes I don't say things right, but I make sure to just
Soren,
you're doing great.
Soren, no licking the microphone.
I wasn't.
Soren, I actually think this has been your best alley so far.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give you
great.
that.
You're doing great.
I'll give you that, John.
He's giving you that. What do you
give you that, John.
No, I'm thanking him for the compliment. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, my Marywood team's pretty good. I mean,
pretty good. Leads the league in points for. Gonna be in first place.
At least you don't have
Jack
and 3.
Jack is the best team in the league coming in this week. Put up like 130 points, and you beat him by 40.
I hate to break it to you. I think he had 150. I think.
That's what I'm saying. You beat him by like a good margin, and you're like, my team's
and Soren got 170 this week. Well, here I am getting a measly like 85. because my
Soren,
team is.
you basically got doubled by Soren. You got more than doubled by Soren.
No, listen. I will give him credit because Garrett Wilson did lead his team like before Sunday.
Okay, cool. Soren, you scored 175 points.
Soren's acting like
It is unheard of. Yes.
Soren's acting like he's under
Listen,
fire
listen,
right now, like
listen,
he's Brett Favre
it
or
is
something.
unheard of. It is unheard of. But Zay Flowers to score 2 touchdowns is insane. And Derrick Henry going off and having a game, insane.
John, I still remember right after the draft, we were clowning Soren for passing on CeeDee Lamb. We're like, oh, what's he doing? He picked Amon Ra. And like, look, Amon Ra has been great.
No, but it was the right decision to pass on him.
And not really. It doesn't. Soren, it really doesn't matter. You could have drafted, dude. You could have drafted Jake Elliott with that pick, and you would still have the best team in the league. Like, it doesn't matter who you pick. Like your team right now, it doesn't matter who you picked with that first round pick. It doesn't matter. You have the best team in the league. You are going to win. You're gonna get the shave for his head,
Or frosted tips,
give him
or
frosted
whatever.
tips, yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Huh?
You're gonna have to switch your name.
Now, by the way, if I get frosted tips, does that mean I'm paying for the appointment, or?
No, we'll do it at home. We'll do homemade. We'll do it. That's what we did last year with the haircut. We didn't want to pay for it, so I just got my I got my clippers and just.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it at home frosted tip.
Are you serious?
Lethal.
Someone said he'll do it for you. He said.
Yeah, you have to shave your eyebrows.
Oh god.
Oh
To
my
be honest,
God.
I have never been in a league where the last place punishment is just so.
We don't know what it is.
crazy.
Frosted tips will be. We put everything on like a wheel and stuff.
Like
So
the-
what's
like
on?
the-
Do we know what's
like
on the
the
wheel,
things
or
were
is it
done
confidential?
insane.
Or
So some of the ones that we did TikTok 2 years ago.
Yep.
That was what the loser did. Last year we did the buzz cut or the Von Miller haircut.
that's right. Yeah. I remember. I remember
That one was really bad.
Frosted tips
What
is
else
on the
been-
board
We've
this
done
year.
it. So the one that we've seen, it's the milk mile, the 4 for 4 mile, and then the shot mile. But then someone said, "Oh, that's too easy," so it actually turns into a 5K.
Too easy.
Yeah, so that it's a 5K, but then one of the miles is the 4 for 4, one of them is the shot, and one of them is the milk mile.
Oh.
So it's a 5K doing all of those.
Yeah.
So you're dying if you do that. We've had like public shaming, just like put you in like a dog cage and like throw eggs at you. Public shaming. We've had lemonade stand where we make you like sit out and like have to make a certain amount of money at a lemonade stand.
Oh my
Quit. What else has been on the wheel in the past? I'm trying to think. We've come up with some really bad ones. Oh, we had one where it was like we drop you off an hour from here with nothing but a road map at $10. No phone, nothing, and you have to make your way back. Yeah, there's been some really bad ones. So we'll put some on a wheel for you.
That just seems like it's very. This is the most diabolical.
Well,
league
Soren,
I've ever been in.
good thing you don't have to worry about it.
Soren, if you want to save me, you got to trade. Save me, Soren. Save me. I mean, Bigsy was nice enough to trade with me.
Geno
but,
Smith for Derrick Henry.
Geno Smith for J.K. Dobbins.
That will be considered the worst trade.
You have
in
no.
this football league.
No, the worst trade was Geno Smith for Jake Elliott.
No, it
really
wasn't.
Was. It was.
Soren,
That might
I
be
mean,
the
it
worst
was.
trade
It
in,
was.
like,
It was
Soren,
for right now.
Soren. Jake Elliott is first off has not been on your roster since the trade. You dropped him the
1
week
week
after.
he was gone.
He was on your roster for a week, and then he also is like the worst scoring kicker in fantasy right now.
Soren, listen,
I'm
Geno
still
Smith.
I was still trying to figure out, I was still trying to figure out my defensive kicker then, and I was still trying to figure out who was actually going to be really good
Well,
this
listen,
season.
Geno Smith for
But
Zay
like I said,
Flowers.
we're halfway through the NFL season. I don't know if you guys realize that.
So
but
Geno
it is
Smith
true.
For Zay
Amon-Ra.
Flowers.
For Amon-Ra.
For Amon Ra.
And
Yeah,
Zay-
because
and
I need
Zay
a wide receiver, Amon Ra, for Geno Smith.
AJ Brown.
Deny.
AJ Brown for Zay Flowers.
Deny.
Okay, get off. Go back to your stinky
Goodbye,
smelly
Soren.
alley. We'll see you when it comes to Monday Night Picks. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Okay.
Almost did a lunge
Just
there.
towards ACL. As you. I hinted at before the alley, but let's get into Moi Goi of the week. There we go, Cam.
Wait, is that your Goi?
No, I thought that was your Goi.
No, that's
Moi Goi of the
week. So the man I was hinting at before was Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, having an excellent, and one more time, excellent game this week. Really catapulting Ole Miss. Ole Miss had kind of been stumbling a little bit. I feel like Ole Miss is starting kind of gotten forgot about. I know they're like ranked. Like they were kind of just like they're ranked, but no one is really scared by them. I think this definitely puts them back on the map. I know it's Arkansas. It was on the road, so I will give them that. But had an absolute heck of a day. 515 yards, 6 touchdowns, threw for over 80% completion percentage, and just for fun, added about 50 rush yards. But I really think that puts him back in the Heisman conversation. He leads college football in passing yards now. Obviously, they're going to take into account record and everything. Ole Miss is not going to be in the SEC championship. There's a chance they lose one more game. Chance they're losing this weekend. They play Georgia, so they're going to lose this week. So like, he's probably not going to win, but I think with how good of a performance is, it definitely helps out his draft stock. He's a senior. I think he might be eligible for one more year, possibly. But this definitely helps his draft stock for sure. Has only thrown 3 interceptions the entire season. But yeah, Jackson Dart, Moi Goi of the week. John, who's your Goi of the week?
Oh, so this game was awesome, as you mentioned. So I went with Jordan Watkins, the Ole Miss receiver, just catching basically
JD,
5 touchdowns. But what made me pick?
You gotta redo that because you cut out so. You gotta run that back one more time. You cut out so much.
From the beginning.
Just start from who's your Goi, John?
Jordan Watkins, Ole Miss wide receiver.
There you go.
We saw Dart with the big game, obviously, as you just talked about. That was insane. But Watkins himself, he had 8 catches, 254 yards, and yes, 5 touchdowns. That was just an amazing game in itself from him. But my favorite part about this was the entire season before Saturday, he only had 295 yards in the whole year and 2 touchdowns. So he almost broke his receiving total for the year, and he more than doubled his touchdown total in one game. So that's pretty impressive for Mr. Watkins. Huge breakout for him.
Yeah, especially Trey Harris has been the go-to guy for Dart player, and he was out this week. So he had to try and find someone new to go to. And once he found that connection, he didn't stop going to the well. He went there 8 times, but found the end zone 5 with him. Yeah, I'm very curious on what's going to happen if and when Harris comes back, because I think that'd be really big for Ole Miss. Potentially, if they end up making the CFP and Harris and Watkins are healthy and Dart keeps playing like this, maybe a sneaky outside contender, John. Wouldn't be the craziest thing to think.
No.
Corey, who is your guy?
So I alluded to it. I alluded to it on our team takes, and it's from the Tar Heels. Amarion Hampton. He's been balling out this year. Balled out again against FSU. 5 total touchdowns, 172 yards on the ground, 93 yards receiving, just to put the cherry on top. 8th time this year that he's had another 100-plus rushing yard game. And I mean, even this year, I mean, over almost 1,200 yards rushing. I mean, he's been balling out. Now, again, they played the Seminoles, who are just garbage this year, but having a season high this week.
100%. And I think, obviously, Genty is going to be the first backer off the board. Okay. Genty's obviously going to be the top back off the board, but Hampton is definitely making a case for himself to be the second. I believe he's top 5 in rushing.
Yeah, I think so.
He's been so good, and I think he's just proven he's ready to be. It's weird. I was going through a lot of the games yesterday, a lot of the stuff from Saturday, and just throughout the week. And there's a lot of running backs to the point where some of these juniors might consider going back for their senior season just purely because of how deep the running back class is. I think Judkins and Henderson are going to the draft, both guys from Ohio State. Singleton could go, I believe. There's a lot of guys who could go to the draft. And I think just because there's such a surplus of backs in this class, Hampton's not going to be one of them, but some of them might want to consider maybe go back for that senior season. And it sucks because if their production dips or they get hurt, it really kind of screws them over for their draft stock. But there's some guys who are just going to stumble because of how good the backs are this year. Let's move away. We all went college this week. Usually we have one NFL, but let's move away. Let's go to fantasy freakouts. Okay. So still 2 games to be determined. Currently, I'm losing to the worst player in our league, Ben Galco. He is up currently with 2 players left. Has Baker, who, despite throwing interceptions every other pass, averages 20 points a week, and Rashad White, who's stinky poo-poo. So I have to wait for that. I also have to wait for my main league. Relying on Kareem Hunt to win me 2 leagues this week, or tonight. So hopefully big legacy game from Kareem Hunt, not going to happen. But he did pick up a win against you, John, in your brother's league. Sit down, little boy. Yeah.
I did beat you like 2 weeks ago in the other league. So
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll face you again there, big dog.
And in the fantasy baseball playoffs, right?
Who asked you? You know, I'm gonna make sure John loses our league, so Frost tips. But no, I had a few good performances this week. Alvin Kamara being one of them. Devon Achane, absolutely electric. I had mentioned Ramondre's touchdown catch earlier. That really put him over the edge. Cup and Mooney, great in the league that beat you. And so Chuba Hubbard as well. All of them great. And James Daniels. So basically, every one of my notes were from our league, Free Brothers League. Kyler Murray and Mark Andrews, the 2 players who just really screwed me this week. I had to play Andrews because Kittle was on bye. Mark Andrews, remembering that he is just a run blocker. Lovely. And Kyler, they went with the run game a lot. I saw McBride score the touchdown. I was so happy, and then I realized it was a rush. And I had a feeling that that's how the rest of the night was going to go. And it was. I'm upset because I played Kyler in the main money league, and I had Tua, and Tua played well. He would have got me an extra 13 or 14 points, and saying I'm down by 20, that would have made my life so much easier, especially saying I'm kind of fighting for my life in that league. But yeah, so Kareem Hunt, please save me. John, what happened to your fantasy week this week?
Yeah, so I lost to you, which was unfortunate. I'm down by like 35 right now with the Chiefs defense, so I don't even think that would be some miracle if they pulled out 36 points.
Just 3
But I mean, you never
sixes?
know the way Baker throws that ball up for grabs. You never know.
If I lose
in that league,
Baker,
imagine 36 points from the defense.
I swear.
Jefferson had 22. Really, the only guy that did well for me. Everyone else was very underwhelming. I'm gonna be 4 and 5 in that league, but I think I'm still gonna be in a playoff spot because that league is very It's weird. There's a lot of teams that are just like 5 and 4, 4 and 5 kind of thing going on. In the Marywood League though, big win. I beat Ethan's team, who's 5 and 3, get a 4-game win streak, so he's been playing well. He got bit by the injury bug. That's probably why I won. He forgot to take Brian Robinson out of his lineup. Then he had Olave and Drake London, who both got hurt during the game, so they really couldn't put up any points for him. But I mean, Joe Burrow stepped up for me, 29 points, 5 touchdowns yesterday. Devontae with 22. Every week we love our boy Brandon Aubrey from jury duty to the football field. He's just an absolute dog. I just want to thank Ben Galco though for letting me get Joe Burrow, because I'm going to be 2-0 with Mr. Burrow on the squad. So feels like the trade's helping us out both, because you're going to win this week as well. Yeah. I mean, he's going to get a W this week too, so he'll be 1-1 this week after the trade. So I feel like that's worked out for the both of us. I think I'm going to make a little push in that Marywood League. I didn't start out too great, but I think the team's coming together now. 5 and 4 overall after this week.
Corey, how are you doing in fantasy?
So both of you guys can just shut up at this point. No. So we're just going to get the good stuff out of the way. My high school league, I dominate per usual. I'm going to win by 50+ because I had Saquon, Kamara, Lamar, and Cooper Kupp. So I'll be 6 and 3. And the Marywood League, my team is officially going to be called the Graveyard at this point. I mean, I'm literally just a hospital. And you know what, guys? I'm really thinking we should start a new segment called Who's Injured on Corey's Fantasy Team this week. Because if we had a drum roll this week, it's A.J. Brown again. He hurt his knee. Let's go. So I lose Diggs, a week or 2 ago. Now I lose Brown.
Well, at least fortunately, they did come out with a report that says he should be fine.
Well, and then he'll just take the biggest shot in the world
No,
to
don't
his
worry.
knee.
Don't worry. Your
next
newly
week.
acquired Chase Brown will get
But
hurt.
yeah, so live update, like we said at the beginning of the show. I don't know if anyone heard it because we had some issues, but I got Chase Brown in a trade from Biggs. Gave up Pacheco because by the time Pacheco comes back, I'm gonna be like, I'll have frosted tips at this point. The only positive were Mooney and Mixon on this team. Geno Smith is lackluster. I don't have an RB2. I don't have a tight end. Like Cole Kmet, not even like 0 catches, 0 targets, first of all. I get him in a trade from, the Baltimore Alley. I get zero targets from him. 0. So I'm going to be 2-7. Ben's going to win, and Ben's going to win. Ben is going to win.
He's possibly.
He's going to win.
It's potentially a win.
He's going to win.
Are you sure?
So you three.
It's a win. It's a win.
Yeah. I mean, John even said. So you three could be quiet.
Hey, Alley boy, shut up.
And Soren, I need you to trade me Zay Flowers for Geno Smith.
And Charbonnet. He'll throw in Charbonnet as well.
Yes, you can take back Charbonnet because he's done nothing. Nothing at all.
And Cole Kmet. And Jake Elliott.
But I'm going to be 2-7. I'm 3 straight losses. I'm going to be dead last. And Frosted Tips will be happening sometime in December, probably.
Nah, we'll wait until because I think we'll usually until the fantasy playoffs are determined.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I want everyone to be there to see your shaming. Again, it's not exactly I mean, I know what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Frosted Tips.
Yes,
but it doesn't necessarily mean you're getting Frosted Tips. You could have to fly somewhere. Oh, dude, we should just do the Dude Perfect. They do like the overtime punishments. There was one where you had to fly somewhere for absolutely nothing. So you get on a plane with nothing, no phone, anything. You fly over, get off the plane, and then just get on a plane back. I think that would be the great. Knowing our luck, it would go wrong, and Corey's flight back would be canceled, and he's just gonna be stuck in like Alaska or something. But yeah, we'll see what punishments we can concoct.
I mean, at that point, is it a punishment if you're stuck in a place like that? You can make something happen.
No, because he has to fly.
That'd be fun.
He has to fly for completely nothing. Like he has to fly somewhere.
Oh, so he has no money on him.
He's not allowed to like go and buy stuff. He's not allowed to go and do tour. He literally has to get off the plane and then just get back on another plane and fly back.
He could just beg someone in the street to like pay for a hotel room for the night.
Nope,
or
no
something.
hotel room. No, not allowed to do that. You have to stay at the airport, no phone, nothing. You have to sit in dead silence. Oh, that would be so brutal. All right, let's move away from the gridiron. Let's move to the hardwood. We've mentioned a couple times this episode that we are. Oh, maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't. Again, technical difficulties. Love to see it. But we mentioned that college basketball is kicking off tonight. And with that, John had the pick 5 this week. JD, what did you go with?
My top 5 best NCAA basketball championship teams. Guys, this was a struggle trying to put together the 5 best out of. I mean, there's just been so many good teams. So number 5, we'll start off with last year's UConn Huskies. They went 37-3 overall, 18-2 in the Big East. They won the Big East regular season title. They won the Big East tournament championship and the national championship. I mean, that was a dominant run they went on last year. They beat each opponent in March Madness by at least 15 plus. So that just shows that there was really no competition for them. Donovan Clingan and Stephon Castle both drafted in the top 7 of last year's draft, so they had 2 absolute studs on that team. I think if this was a list that I mentioned this here in my notes, if this is a list we made in 10 years from now, they might be. We have to see how it pans out. They might be the best team to ever step on a college basketball court. But because it happened last year, I don't feel they're that they should be number 1 or higher than 5 right now. So I feel that'll come with due time, which usually happens in sports. Number 4, the 2006-2007 Florida Gators. That was a stacked team as well. 35-5 overall record, 13-3 in the SEC. They won the SEC regular season title, SEC tournament championship, and of course the national championship. Coach Billy Donovan, who we know from the NBA, but he also coached college back then. That squad they were dirty. I mean, 41% from 3 throughout a whole season is nuts. They had Al Horford, Corey Brewer, and Joakim Noah, all lottery picks. So that's a stacked team as well. Number 3, the 2011-2012 Kentucky Wildcats. 13-2 overall record, went 16-0 in the SEC. Everyone's maybe like, whoa, why aren't they number one? They did not win the SEC tournament championship. They won the regular season title and the national championship. They did not have that title in between, which I feel is important. Coach Cal's squad had 7 future NBA players and dominated from start to finish that year. I mean, 7 players. I mean, that's probably an entire rotation right there of future studs. They ranked in the top 10 that year in both offense and defense. I wrote that as, again, reason why they're number 3 is because they didn't get that SEC tournament title. Number 2, the 2000-2001 Duke Blue Devils, 35-4 overall record, went 13-3 in the ACC. They won, of course, the ACC regular season title, ACC tournament championship, and the national championship. They had the Wooden Award winner that year, Shane Battier, who played on the Heat all those years, three-point specialist with LeBron and those good teams. After college, he was also he was a star of that team, but he also had Jay Williams, who works at ESPN now. I know a lot of people know him, but he was really good in college. In the NBA, not so much. And Mike Dunleavy Jr. Both of those guys, those two were taken the top 3 of that next year's draft. So that just shows how good they were. Coach K, of course, he was the coach back then. He was there forever. His squad won games of March Madness by an average of 17 points, so they really had no competition either. Basically steamrolled everyone. My number 1 team, not a team I had too much familiarity with until I did some research on them. I did not realize they were this good. The 1998-1999 UConn Huskies. So yes, that's 2 UConn teams, which pains me to speak about them highly, but I have to. 34-2 overall record that year, 16-2 in the Big East. They won the Big East regular season title, Big East tourney championship, and the national championship. Defeated the Blue Devils in the championship, who had won 32 straight before that game. So I mean that at that point you're beating a team that's pretty much unbeatable. 32 straight games. They took them down. I know many of you guys remember Rip Hamilton from his Piston days. Well, he was a little stud back then at UConn. That's it, guys. What do you think?
I think that's
like
a
the
good
list.
Yeah, I think possibly we could talk about who the next team to join that could be, because the next thing we're going to get into is our predictions. Like you said, season kicking off tonight. We're going to go over who we think is going to be the Wooden Award winner, which goes to the best college basketball player. And we're also going to talk about who we think is going to win the national championship. So, JD, saying it was your list, what team do you think could potentially join that list at the end of the season?
I got the Kansas Jayhawks. I know last year they had a really good team as well. They got bounced in the second round because of they were just destroyed by injuries by the end of the year. But they went out and brought in Zeke Mayo, Rylan Griffin, AJ Storr, and a top recruit, Flory Bidunga, combined with their returners Damian Harris, KJ Adams, and Hunter Dickinson. So that's 7 guys right there in their rotation that are studs. Zeke Mayo was on that South Dakota State team, if you guys remember, from March Madness last year, who they just made like every 3-pointer known to man at that point. He was a part of that squad, so they got a deep team this year. I can't remember the other guy's name. They have another guy that they brought in as well. I think he was from Ole Miss, or Mississippi State, one of those, who can shoot as well. And that's something they've struggled with, so now they fixed that. I think they're recharged, and they got Bill Self as he's a quality coach. I mean, I know he got himself into a little trouble, but he's still a pretty good coach. I think Kansas will get it done this year.
Okay, and who do you think is going to win the Wooden Award?
RJ Davis. I know we have it's funny. I'm going with the 50-year player. I'm not going to spoil yours, but you're going with a young guy. Davis was a 20-plus point per game scorer last year as a senior. Now he's back for his 5th year trying to unlock. I was reading some articles about him. He wants to improve his defense, which is not great, but I know really with the Wooden Award, defense doesn't really matter, so I can care less about what he does defensively. He's going to score, of course, with that UNC team. They're always quality. They have good players. With Hugh B. Davis as the coach, so he's really good. I think Davis wins Wooden Award.
Corey, who do you think's winning the Wooden Award?
Well, it's funny that John said R.J. Davis because I also said R.J. Davis, not because of me being biased, well, maybe just a little bit, but I mean, I there's a case to be made. I mean, he was 16th in the country last year in points per game, and he scored 4th most in a season by a Tar Heel. I mean, recorded the highest ACC game scoring average, became one of 4 Tar Heels to average 20 and 10 assists in a season. I mean, he's just a dominant offensive force. I mean, we don't talk about that Sweet 16 performance against Bama, but I think he's got a really good shot of winning it this year, like you said, John.
What do you think? Who do you think's going to win? Who's going to be cutting down the net at the end of the season?
This might be a bit of a wild card, but I said Alabama. I mean, they had that impressive run March Madness. I mean, as long as their offense is running with Mark Sears, I think they're going to be dominant. But the Tide added some size this offseason. I mean, they got the Rutgers transfer Clifford Olmo-Rui. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying it right. He's a big man, right?
Big man, yeah. I mean, averaged about three blocks
really
a
good.
game. They also, a couple of their freshmen coming in, too, could make an impact with their size. I mean, they have multiple freshmen 6'7" or taller, so I think that their defense will be a lot better this year.
I mean, Bama opens in the top 25 for college basketball, started second. So I definitely understand that pick. I'll start with my Wooden pick, and then I'll finish with my teams. For Wooden, John hit a little bit with it. It's been a while since underclassmen of first-year players, but I'm going with Cooper Flagg, the freshman forward from Duke University, the top recruit in the class for 2024. 2024 McDonald's All-American Gatorade Player of the Year, and not only did he run with TUSA before the summer, he was good against them. The fact that he was holding his own against the best of the best in the NBA from the United States, it just proves how good he is. Averaged over 16 points. Over 7.5 boards, just about 4 assists, almost 3 blocks in his last year of high school. He's going to be a dog. This Duke team is going to be very, very good. Open at 7th, and he's one of the reasons why. So I think I was really big between him and Dylan Harper from Rutgers. I really think it's going to go to a freshman this year. I think it's going to be close between those two, but I'm going to give the edge to Flagg. As for the national champion, I'm going to roll with the Baylor Bears. Go Bears. Go Bears. Go Bears. Go Bears. The Bears start off. VJ Edgecombe he's a freshman 5th in the class of 2024. So very excited to see what he is going to do. Norshad Omier averaged a double-double in all 4 of his seasons. He's a transfer over to Baylor, spent 2 seasons with Arkansas State and 2 with Miami, and he's been a great defender too. Like he's very good on the perimeter, very good on the inside, so he's really gonna help out that Bears defense. Jeremy Roach was excellent with Duke last season. He spent 4 years with Duke. I think he's really gonna be another good addition. A lot of transfers coming in. Jalen Celestine or Celestine? Celestine. Celestine. There you go. He's a marksman from 3. He is automatic, as well as Jaden Nunn. Those are 2 guys who are going to be very productive for this Bears team. Langston Love has also spent 2 really good seasons with Baylor, and they've had 3 straight round of 32 exits. They won the championship in 2021, but since then, March Madness has not been fun for them. That's why it is March Madness. One of the best teams always going in, but always this past few years has been bounced quickly. And I saw this on the schedule. Very excited to see. They start their season with 2 tough games. They face Gonzaga on the road tonight, and then they face Arkansas, both ranked teams. So we get to see what if this team is truly legit, if I actually know ball or I don't know ball very early in the season, because they're going to face 2 of the best teams in the nation right off the rip, and they are no pushover themselves. They're ranked 8th to start the season. Very, very excited to see what this Bears team can do. Not rooting for them because go Sooners, but I think the Bears are going to be one of the best in the nation. Let's switch over to the NBA.
Guys, one more thing.
What's up?
I just want to give a shout out to my Johnnies starting their season tonight. I think they're going to be very good. Future first-round pick, Kadari Richmond on the squad now from Seton Hall, so we kind of stole him away from them, rival. And Rick Pitino, I think he's got the squad rolling this year. Go Johnnies. I forgot to give him the shout-out in the team takes.
Go Johnny.
I was kind of very tired doing it.
All right.
We're taking over the Big East.
Is that what's happening?
Oh yeah.
All right. We'll switch over to the NBA. News coming tonight. New Philadelphia 76er Paul George making his debut. And oh boy, the Sixers need it. 1-4 to start the season. Not dead last though in the East. It's the Milwaukee Bucks. Who would have thought? Who would have thought the Sixers and Bucks would have a worse record than the Pistons, Raptors, and Hornets?
I wouldn't have thought.
Nope. Especially when we did our tier list early in the season. Not looking,
Oh, yeah.
not looking so smart. But
Oh, yeah.
as we go around with the standings, only 2 undefeated teams left: the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East and my Oklahoma City Thunder in the West. Yeah. Who's been the biggest surprise through what we're through 2 weeks now? Who has been the biggest surprise as a good team and the biggest surprise as a bad team? John, I'll let you start.
I'm gonna go with Golden State, 5-1. I really didn't think they would be too good. Like, I don't know. I didn't really like them, but they're proving me wrong. I mean, Curry's out right now too. He hurt his ankle, and they're still winning games. So that's my team in the West. And then in the East, I gotta say the Cavs. I did not think they would be undefeated. But I know Kenny Atkinson is a coach there now. He's a very, very good coach. Never had the best talent. This is probably the most talented team he's ever had. So he's showing it right now. 7-0. I mean, I don't think the Cavs will sustain this, obviously, but I think they'll still be a top seed in the East and very tough to get out this year.
Well, for Golden State, look, Buddy Hield has been playing phenomenal basketball. Former Wooden Award winner, ironically. Led Oklahoma to a deep run in 2016, but he's been great. Wiggins has been great. Curry, when he was on the court, hadn't been he'd been fine, but he hadn't been like the Curry we've gotten used to. The cum bucket, Jonathan Kuminga, absolute beast so far. He's one of the younger players for that squad, but he's been very good. Like it doesn't make sense why they're this good, because this is probably the worst Golden State team that we've seen, at least, I would say, in our lifetime. But since they've really become prominent, like roster build-wise, this is definitely not one of the ones that we're looking at. Like, this is a team that's good. But for Cleveland, like, we knew Cleveland has been good. We knew the talent they had with Mitchell, with Garland, Mobley, LeVert, Allen. Like, they've had the squad. But, like, not best in the East. And again, they're only a game up on Boston, so, like, and it's still early. It's not going to be sustainable. But this Cleveland squad is very, very good. I would like to see this team go deep. I would like to see them knock Boston off. I want to see Boston win anymore. We don't like Boston. Corey, who's been your biggest surprise team in the East, and who's been your biggest surprise team in the West? Good or bad? Doesn't matter.
Well, I think the surprise in the East, I would definitely say the Cavs, because I did not expect them to go 7-0. In the West, I got to say the Spurs. I really do. I think with how, I mean, Vic Wembanyama is averaging 18, but I mean, you look at the guys under them. I mean, Sochan 17, Keldon, Chris Paul 12 and 11. I mean, it seems like they've been kind of sharing the ball a little bit. I mean, I didn't expect them to blow me away this year, but they. I mean, they lost to Oklahoma City by a good amount, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, they beat a Minnesota team that we thought would start off the season a little bit better, but I don't know. I think they've been. I thought they weren't gonna start 3-3. I didn't think they were gonna start off this. I guess I thought they were gonna be under subpar, pretty much.
And what about from the East? Who do you think has been besides? Is there a team besides the Cavs? Because I think we could all unanimously say the Cavs. Is another team, good or bad, you've kind of been surprised by?
I gotta think about that.
I mean, the Sixers being as bad as they are.
I mean, that's true too, because I was just talking about, and Milwaukee too, because we were just talking about that. How when for some reason I thought that you were a Sixers fan, because everything Philadelphia, I think, with you. But no, I mean, especially with Milwaukee, you make a good point, because Giannis and Damian Lillard have just been carrying the load, and I think Brook Lopez is averaging like 11, but just there's not really not much going on.
That's what happens when you're coaching staff is Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham. I don't know what they expected. My biggest surprise team from the West is the Lakers. I really didn't expect them to be this good. And one of their 2 losses, they got battered by Cleveland. But the other one lost to the Suns by 4 on the road. Like, that's excellent basketball. They beat the Timberwolves opening night. They beat the Suns. They beat the Kings. LeBron owns the Raptors. Like, I really didn't expect this Lakers team. Again, it's 6 games, so let's not get too overzealous with it. But I didn't expect the Lakers to be a winning team this year. I thought maybe playing at best, but they've looked good so far. I'm really surprised with how they've come out of the gate. I think my biggest surprise team so far in the East. It's weird. They're in the middle of the pack, but it's got to be the Bulls. I really thought the Bulls were going to be one of the worst teams in basketball. But they look decent. Levine's looked good. Nikola Vucevic. Kobe White had his breakout season last year. Even he who shall not be named, Josh Giddey, has looked good. He's having his best numbers, and you can tell. I talked about it before. He was kind of out of place in Oklahoma City. Shea truly developed as a true one guard, and Giddey's a guy who needs the ball to be dominant. But he's looked good. He's even developed a three-point shot, which is crazy because he was never really a three-point shooter out in Oklahoma City. I'm trying to find his three-point percentage. He's shooting 47% from three right now. Not sustainable, but he's been playing good basketball for this Bulls team, who, even though it's 3-3 and it's probably only going to get worse, it's nice to see that the Bulls, because the Bulls have not been good in a while. It's been a while since the Bulls have been relevant. I know they had DeRozan and Levine, and they've been in the play-in tournament a couple times, but not exciting. But shout out Bulls. Go Bulls. Windy City. All right, let's finish Hino's ball off as we always do. Time for the Monday night picks. We got the Chiefs and the Buccaneers tonight. Cameron is still our champion. We updated the standings as well with the World Series.
By a good amount too.
By a good amount, yeah.
Job not done.
As we look at the standings, Cameron's still up top, has a 2-game lead, so going to keep the crown at least for next week. And probably even longer after that, as I'm looking through the rest of the picks. Glass's squad no longer on top. He stumbled, Corey.
Yeah, stumbled a little bit with the World Series.
We got Cameron, Jack, and Bernie up top. Cam 10-2, Jack and Bernie both 8-4. Then we have a 3-way tie at 7-5. John slightly ahead of me, and then Corey right behind me. And then the cellar dwellers, Soren and Ben, so far down as he fist bumps with his 309-point differential. Didn't think it was possible, ladies and gentlemen, but he's proving otherwise. Let's get started, though. For tonight's game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win 23-21. Slight win. I have noted here, if this was week 2 or the Bucs were just fully healthy, I think the Bucs would win this game. I think with how good Baker's been playing, if he had legitimate receivers, I would be okay. I'd feel comfortable. But he doesn't. So Travis Kelce's looked better. 3 of his last 4 games has 7 catches, over 70 yards. I think he has his first touchdown of the season last week. Kareem Hunt has been a workhorse since coming back to KC. So please be a workhorse again tonight. That'd be really great. Thank you. And Kansas City's been great against the run, so they're going to force Baker to throw. Rashad White is not going to really do much on the ground, nor is Bucky Irving. They're going to have to throw the ball, and that's what Baker does best. Baker leads the NFL in passing touchdowns, second in yards, so he's going to throw the ball a ton. But when you throw the ball 50 times games, you're going to make mistakes. And he has done that last 2 weeks. Has had 7 interceptions in the last 3 games. And I think that's what's going to cost him. If he protects the ball, I think they could be the first team to knock off the Chiefs this season. But I believe he's going to make 2 to 3 mistakes, 2 or 3 interceptions tonight. He will still throw for 350 yards and probably 3 touchdowns and cost me fantasy. But his interceptions is going to be what happens, and this Kansas City's team forces mistakes really well. They're probably going to get after him. Wouldn't be surprised if Chris Jones comes up with a sack tonight. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs 23-21. Corey, what do you got?
I also got the Chiefs 24-17. We're beating a dead horse. The Chiefs' defense continues to be solid. I mean, they played Vegas last week. Had 5 sacks, forced a fumble. I mean, again, it's Vegas, but that defense has been unbelievable. They're going to make it difficult for Baker. Bucs have dropped 2 straight games. You know, they lost Godwin and Evans. And I also agree. I think Baker, 3 straight weeks of 2+ interceptions. I think he's going to have a couple turnovers again. Chiefs' defense will be the difference. I got the Chiefs 24-17.
JD.
I got the Chiefs 26-20, more of the same. I mean, I might as well just repeat myself at this point. I know how we poked fun at it after, I think it was week 2, right, with the Chiefs, of how they always want to win the 1-possession games. I think that'll stay the same thing. The defense will be great. The offense will do just enough. They're just a boring team to watch because they just win and they're just not fun anymore. Mahomes back in a few years ago was just really fun to watch. It's just not anymore. I don't know what it is, but they still win. I think Baker, without, as you guys said, without Godwin and Evans, will struggle in the red zone. so preventing them from scoring some touchdowns. And Mahomes and Kelsey, I think, will get that connection. Keep that connection going from what they did last week against Vegas. I'm basically repeating what you guys said, but Chiefs will survive and advance yet another week. Stay undefeated, I guess.
King, what do we got?
Man, I'm miserable. I'm really miserable. I'm like so sick and tired of primetime games. Like 1 p.m. is just so much more fun to watch now. Like I guess like the 4 o'clock games have been pretty alright, but primetime really been sleeping lately. I wrote down, what did I write down? 28-16? I don't even remember. Something like that. Yeah, 28-16. That was my same prediction from last week. Did not feel like changing it. Seemed pretty right. I don't know, man. I guess Sterling Shepard legacy game tonight. Who's the other guy? McLaughlin? Or McMillan? Trey Palmer. Kate Otten's there. Bucky Irving, great name, great guy. That he's a great guy. I'm rooting for punts tonight.
Would you let Bucky Irving date your daughter?
Bucky Irving? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. As he drops his Soren, come on.
Oh, I just blew up everything. Now it's working.
As he ducks, dodge, duck, dip, dive,
Weaves,
and dodge.
dodges.
The 5 Ds in dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Soren, who do you have winning tonight?
I have the Chiefs winning the game tonight 26-24. I think it's going to be a very competitive game between the two teams. Expect Kate Otten to do well, which
Also on his fantasy team.
Yeah, trade
who
him.
I didn't
I
start.
said to trade him,
Don't need to start him, Soren. Your team's too good already.
so you can trade him.
I also think maybe Bucky Irving's going to have a show as well. Maybe Baker might score a couple of touchdowns. Maybe just running it in. But like I said, Mahomes, the defense is good, but Xavier Worthy's going to produce a pretty good game. You also have Kareem Hunt, so I think Kareem Hunt will rush the ball pretty often. Maybe get a couple of touchdowns. But yeah, Chiefs win 26-24.
Okay. Thank you, Soren. Jack. Come on, that Jacqueline Biggs, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Biggs. First off, before you make your pick, I want to get your opinion. What do you think once you get over here? I want to know what your opinion on your fantasy trade. I want to get your thought process. Saying you acquired a Kansas City Chief.
Oh yeah.
Got Chacho obviously gave up Chase Brown and Tank Bigsby.
Oh yeah, Tank Bigsby.
Your brother, Bigsby, man.
I had to sacrifice him. I'm feeling good about it. You know, I'm basically locked in playoffs right now, so just trying to bolster the roster.
Yeah. We're gonna win together, Jack.
Yeah, Pacheco led us a game against Soren in the final. But I had the Chiefs tonight winning 28-27. I think the Bucs are gonna get out ahead early. The Chiefs are gonna pull some Chiefs then and end up winning. I'm thinking a special teams touchdown in some regard for one of the teams. Maybe a punt return. I don't know.
Go Chiefs defense.
Got him in fantasy, John?
Needs.
Oh yeah, I'm
needs
down by
36
like 35.
points.
So I
for
need a big night.
So 3 pick sixes is what John needs, which is possible, which is sad.
Yeah, that could happen. That could happen.
God no.
Yeah, it's gonna somehow be close.
I'm gonna end up seeing it's like supposed to be like 99% to 1%. I'm gonna see it get to like 66, 30, 34. I'm like, what is happening? All right, thanks. Bernie went with the Kansas City Chiefs. Kind of boring. We all went with Chiefs this week. Chiefs 24-20. Bernie thinks Noah Gray legacy game. That's my pick for Bernie. And Ben, surprised Ben went with like a normal-ish score this week. I would have really expected Chiefs 97-3. But he went with the Chiefs 28-19. Ben, any bold predictions? He said Carson Steele to have 4 touchdowns. Got it. He says Carson Steele. Good call. I think it's a good call. I think that's really, really good. JD from the island of Staten, you got anything else for the fans?
Two more things. I just want to give a shout out to Marywood basketball tonight. They're playing Cornell in an exhibition game. Go Pacers! Let's shock the world.
ESPN Plus,
And
let's
number
go,
two,
baby.
ESPN Plus at 7 o'clock. And they were preseason ranked number 3 in the conference, so they're going to be
Go,
very
baby.
exciting
Let's
to
go,
watch.
Pacers. Roll
Let's
Pacers.
go.
First broadcast next Wednesday. Let's go, baby.
Next Wednesday night, yep. And number 2 is going to shout out to Vinnie. Happy 21st. I know it's tomorrow, but happy birthday to him.
No, it's Wednesday.
I'm probably I might be the only
It's Wednesday.
the only young guy left, right?
Bigsy, how old are you?
Wednesday. Today's Monday.
What? When's your 21st? Oh, no, you're not the youngest. Bigsy's 21st is in July.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, I feel better now.
You're
Alright.
not the total young bull.
Yeah.
We got 97-year-old
Wednesday
Ben
the
behind the
6th.
camera. Wait, how old's Bernie? Bernie's 20. When's his birthday? Or did he just turn? He just did?
Just turned 20.
Oh yeah, no, John, you're not. Bernie's younger than you as well.
Oh, good. All right.
So you're not.
That's
You're
good.
not a total young bull. Not yet, at least.
All right, good.
All right.
Yeah. All right, good. But that's all I got.
Corey, you got anything for the fans?
No, I think we persevered. We got through the technical issues, and you can't kill Hino's ball. I mean,
Nope.
It's that simple.
Nope. But you will die in fantasy.
Yeah. Well,
You're
half my
probably gonna have a
team
player who dies.
no, if I was on that team, I'll go to practice. There'll be nobody at practice. Like it's so and so's in the hospital with a broken knee right now, shattered leg.
Your team is the. Remember the SpongeBob episode with the dude with full body cast? That is your fantasy team. When I wake up, I break my arms. When I go to sleep, I break my legs. Cam, you got anything else, man?
No, man. As the wise one, Tom Brady once said this weekend, I think. I don't know if it's actually a quote or not. Jared Goff is the greatest quarterback of all time. So that's my final thought.
That sounds pretty Tom Brady-esque. Sounds legit.
Pretty
to
much,
me.
man. I mean, I know we said something about King Henry like having an all-star weekend. Jared Goff is having an all-star year. I love that man. Would do anything for him.
Crazy. Okay. All right. For everyone at He Knows Ball, John over in Staten Island, the fake land. Hopefully we get him back soon. Get back next week. Let's go, baby.
Oh yeah, I'll be back. I'll actually be back in a few hours, guys.
Let's go, baby. But for
go.
JD out in Staten Island, Corey to my right, Cam to my left, everyone else at He Knows Ball, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. Stay ballin', Scranton.